Hi friends, good morning. I hope all of you are keeping in good health and spirit. So today I have tried to bring a very small and very interesting topic, that why few shopping malls are successful where most of them are found unsuccessful. In my last video also I have tried to highlight little bit on these aspects. See, there are two categories of mall. One is the sole model malls, other category is the lease model malls. Most of the lease model malls are successful, whereas on the other hand, most of the sole models suffer a lot of problems and they really fight to be success among the competitors. In today's date, we have currently 575 malls which are operational as on date. The statistic says that, and out of them only 10 to 20% malls are those malls which are doing very well. These are again the combination of both sole models and the lease model malls, where most of the malls which are sold models, they fail to success despite of having a very good facade, very good brand mix, very good marketing strategies. Still they don't perform. What are the reasons? There are few reasons which I have noted down today for you, and to get the solutions of the problems you can reach me in my private mobile number as well as in my LinkedIn questions, so that I can address your queries. Friends, there is a term called strata sales of property in most of the sold model properties, which was basically meant for the residential project actually. Later on, the developers started implementing the same strategy for retail also and commercial office spaces also. But today, since our subject is on retail, so we'll only stick to the retail objective of the mall development, which are under sold models. Most of the developer, when they sell the properties, they sell most of the chunks in smaller units to various investors, and the sale team, when they make a pitch on sales, they make their pitch in such a way at some times that is overcommitted to the clients or to the investors. See, few investors are literate enough who keep investing in the properties. They understand what is retail, what is the ROI, what is the correlationship between P&L of a brand and a P&L of a, or a ROI of a property, appreciation factors. Whereas most of the investors, they don't have that specified or specific knowledge about these aspects. They know a simple theory that if we buy a property of X value, how much should I get the rentals? So this is for those customers and for my so-called sale departments, that when you sell any inventory, please educate your customers that, sir, this property is in X location, and if you buy this property, it is going to appreciate in so and so years, and these are the expected rentals which you will get. Don't give them a fishy picture. What will happen at the end of the day, when it comes down for the leasing, and when the leasing team start endorsing the brands in the mall, the conflict starts. The controversy starts. What is the difference between leasing and sales? Selling, when you sell a property, you sell an idea, you sell a product, you sell a concept, and then educate a customer. Whereas leasing is something which is a very polished work. When you make a home, the main work is when the painting starts, when the decoration starts. That is the role of a leasing team. So please, when you coordinate with the investors and coordinate the leasing department, make sure that your commitments made to the investor at the time of selling the properties 2 years back or 3 years back should meet the market rentals No problem whether it is 10 or 12% deviations. It's there, 10 to 20% deviation is there, but there should not be a deviation of 60 is to 80% ratio. Please understand this. Leasing is a very difficult aspect to position a brand in the right zoning mix in a mall with their P&L matching with the P&L of a developer and third party here in the sale model is the investors. I have seen a lot of developers, they do very well. They have good zoning system. They have good units sold out. Most of the inventories are sold out. But the malls, after launch, there is no tenants. 1 year, 2 years they do well because they might be having a leasing right. But post that, the malls start bleeding. Please understand, it is the customers, it is the retailers who are going to make your mall success. If the rentals are too high, if the investors are not being educated beforehand, their expectation will be very high, and there is where the retailer's conflict starts. A retailer always signs a property, you see in most of the cases is 9 years in terms of vanilla, or maybe in terms of hypermarket it could be even 12 years or 15 years. Why there is the term of 9 years, 3 plus 3 plus 3? Why not 5 years? Why not 2 years? Because the EBITDA positive of a store is achieved in 3 years. The break-even points in 3 years. After 3 years, the next 3 years, the brand grows and start making gradual profits. And the last phase of 3 years, they are on the peak profitable place. If a brand is spending a capex of 50 lakhs, how much years should they need to recover that 50 lakhs? It might take 2 years, it might take 3 years, it might take 5 years, or it might take even 6 years. Depending upon the location of the property, depending upon the location of your mall, as I have been discussing in my last discussion about the geographic penetration. You cannot expect a rental of a property from a Y location with the Z location. There is the moment the geographies change, the rate changes. So friends, it is my earnest request from all the consultants, from all the legendary retired professionals from retail and real estate background, to educate the developers, especially those developers who are new in the retail developments, to vision their mall 9 years later. Because what happens, today you sell out the properties, you might have invested X amount in the construction, in the overall aspects, and you expect 4 times of the returns out of your investment. That is fine. That is on one hand, it is okay. But what is the reputation if the mall does not run well in the near future? So all the successful models you see, the top builders like Phoenix, DLF, Prestige, Forum, Lodha, who have a legacy of mall developments only, they are all into lease model. And even if they might have in a couple of projects, if they might have sold out the units, they have a strategic leasing process. I have seen there are a lot of developers who have all departments selling everything. Sales is also into leasing, leasing is also is into sales, projects department is also into sales. So what happens? The unilateral process of leasing, centralized process, it again get distorted. The message which goes into the brand or to the retailers is that there is no uniform process of leasing. Some says I can get you at 150 rupees. Some could say I will get it in 100 rupees. Some could say I'll give it at 300 rupees. Please don't do that. Once the properties are sold, pass on those property to the leasing department. There are experts who are there to decide what rentals per square feet should be to ensure the brand does not run out. Today you give it at high rate, they'll sign a LOI with you. But what happens when by the time the mall is launched, half of the LOIs is cancelled? I have been doing that because I am into retail, as I said, from last 2 decades, and have been opening almost so many stores, and we have done with lot of projects. So ensure that if you have X amount of LOIs, those LOIs should convert into real execution of store opening. LOI is just a letter of intent. It is not the final agreement. Any brand or any operation team, when they come for a site visit, these are the things which they notice. Whether the mall is in the lease model, whether it is in sold model, what is the catchment area of that place, whether my brand will gel well or not, whether the terms and conditions which we have decided would be compatible enough to run the shop. So it is the combination of sales, leasing, which will make a property successful. Friends, I request that you should understand all these things and implement in your day-to-day activities. Thank you once again and wish you all the best.